Death, be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou thinkest thou dost overthrow, die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me. From rest and sleep, which but that pictures thee, much pleasure, then from thee much more must fill. And soonest our best men with thee do go, rest of their bones and souls delivery. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and dost with poison, war, and sickness dwell. And poppy our charms can make the sleep as well, and bitter van thy stroke. Why shallest thou vain? One short say pass, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more. Death, thou shalt die.
Personification is one of literature's coolest tricks, and today we're breaking it down using John Donne's Death, Be Not Proud. Welcome to GCSE English Game Plan, where we make English simple and engaging. Death, a concept as old as time, often strikes fear into our hearts. But what if we could challenge this fear, even mock it? That's exactly what the brilliant poet John Donne does in his powerful sonnet, Death, Be Not Proud. Before we dive into Donne's masterpiece, let's quickly recap what personification is. Personification is a literary device where we give human qualities to non-human things. In Death, Be Not Proud, John Donne takes personification to the next level by turning death into a full-blown character, a rather arrogant one at that. But here's the twist. Donne doesn't make death scary. He makes it kind of lame. Let's explore how. The poem opens with, Death, be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. Right from the start, Donne treats death like a person he's arguing with. The use of thee makes it personal. It addresses death directly as though it were a living sentient being capable of pride and arrogance. By giving death human traits such as the ability to feel pride or be perceived as mighty and dreadful, John Donne transforms it from an abstract concept into a character with a personality. This personification allows Donne to confront death directly. He diminishes its power by mockingly undermining its reputation, suggesting that despite what others might say about its strength and terror, death has no real authority. Instead of being an all-powerful, feared figure, Donne reduces death to a mere idea, stripping it of its pride and grandeur. This technique reframes death not as a ruler to be feared, but as something weak and ultimately conquerable, reinforcing the poem's central message of defiance and hope. Later in the poem, in the line, rest of their bones and souls delivery, Donne uses personification to portray death as a humble servant rather than a terrifying force. Here, death is depicted as something that provides rest to the body, akin to sleep, and facilitates the delivery of the soul to the afterlife. These roles give death human-like qualities, such as the ability to perform acts of care and transition. This personification softens the concept of death, transforming it from a feared finality into a helpful agent of peace and renewal. By likening death to a courier or caretaker, Donne reframes it as a necessary and even beneficial presence. This diminishes death's traditional association with fear and loss, aligning with themes of rest, release, and spiritual continuity. The imagery suggests that death is not an end, but a passage to something greater, reflecting the poem's overall defiance and rejection of death's power. And then we get to the ultimate takedown in the final line: Death, thou shalt die. This is the mic drop moment. By personifying death, Donne gives it a fate worse than its victims. It's not just defeated, it's made irrelevant. By addressing death as though, he treats it as a living entity capable of experiencing its demise. This personification allows Donne to invert the traditional perception of death as an all powerful and inevitable force, instead, portraying it as something mortal and transient. The statement is paradoxical, as death itself associated with the end of life, yet Donne predicts its destruction. By personifying death, Donne gives it human vulnerabilities, reducing it to a powerless, finite being. This bold declaration encapsulates the poem's central theme of triumph over death, rooted in Christian beliefs of eternal life. For Donne, death's death symbolizes its irrelevance in the face of spiritual salvation and immortality, turning it from an object of fear into an object of pity. This vivid and dramatic personification empowers the speaker and aligns with the poem's defiant tone. So, how does Donne use personification in Death Be Not Proud? First, he makes death seem arrogant, treating it like a proud figure that's easy to mock. Next, he diminishes its power by comparing it to restful sleep. And finally, he flips the narrative by showing death's defeat as inevitable. Through personification, Donne reclaims the narrative, turning death into something laughable rather than feared. Overall, personification enriches literature by making the abstract tangible, the lifeless dynamic, and the ordinary extraordinary, offering readers a deeper engagement with the text. Now it's your turn. What's your favorite example of personification in literature? Let me know in the comments below. And if this breakdown helped, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss another English detail.
Don't forget to subscribe for more literary adventures. Let's continue exploring the beauty and power of literature together.